424-JACOB.
You never have to miss a moment of LA's mega sports station. Get the all-new ESPN LA app.
Just search ESPN LA in your App Store or Google Play.
Download, tap, and bam!
You got 710 ESPN in the palm of your hand. 710 ESPN, your home for the 17-time world champion Lakers.
KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station. This is Lakers Talk on 710 ESPN.
Where Lakers fans tap in for all the latest surrounding the purple and gold. After signing his max deal with the Lake Show, Luka is ready to get down to business.
It's an honor, playing for this organization. Many great players played here, so obviously I want to add one more up there, so that's what we're working for.
Now that Luka has his max deal out of the way, Rob Pelinka knows winning trophies is next on the list.
We like the upgrades we're able to make to the roster, but by no means are we going to be satisfied. I think every year we're on an infinite cycle to try to improve this team and win championships, and we'll stay committed to that work.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute. When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
An off-season edition of Lakers Talk is on.
Here's Andy Kamenetsky.
What is up, Laker fans? This is Lakers Talk. Andy Kamenetsky, ESPN LA 710. Thank you to everybody who's taken the time out each week to listen with Lakers Talk. Listen to me and Funchy and DeAndre breaking down everything going down with your Los Angeles Lakers. A lot to get into today, and in particular, it is all centered around Luka Doncic, who over the weekend signed a 3-year, $165 million extension with the Lakers. Indeed. That is a lot of money. Scary. I mean, this is what lets you know, by the way, why Luka could be motivated, like really motivated heading into this season in ways that are awesome for Lakers fans, for the Lakers organization, teammates, all of it. Luka just signed an extension for 3 years, $165 million, and that dude economically got screwed over by the Mavericks. Like he, by getting traded, sucker punched by the Dallas Mavericks to the Lakers, lost out on hundreds of millions of dollars. Like he just signed a deal worth $165 million, and from a money standpoint, he still has a reason to have a fire in his belly and a vengeance against the Mavericks and everybody else he wants to take that out on, which is awesome for the Lakers. The third year for Luka is a player option, which he is widely expected to decline in 2028, so he can re-enter free agency, sign a 5-year deal, because at that point he will be a 10-year veteran in the NBA. He can sign a 5-year deal that is estimated to be worth, in 2028, $418 million, become an $80 million a year player. That is the future, but right now we are dealing with the present with Luka Doncic and the Lakers. The present feels awesome. Very awesome. Very exciting. I'm sure Laker fans are losing their minds over this. I want to hear from you, 877-710 ESPN. Got two great guests tonight at 6:30. Dan Woike is going to swing by. He is now covering the Lakers for The Athletic after years with the LA Times. Some of the best Lakers coverage out there. He is boots on the ground with the team on a day-in, day-out basis. He was at Luka Doncic's press conference over the weekend marking that extension. And also, Dan has an off-season grade for the Lakers that he just wrote up for The Athletic. So we're going to break that down with him at 6:30. Then at 7:15, going to talk with Raj Chipaloo over at Silver Screen and Roll and Clutch Points, get his thoughts on the impending Luka Doncic era, how the pieces could fit together, what is still needed, and obviously want to hear your calls, 877-710 ESPN. If you want to weigh in, also leave comments, those of you taking in the show on the YouTube page for ESPN LA. Try to work in some of your comments and questions into the show. But obviously, Saturday, August 2nd, marked what I referred to during the Saturday special as Luka Doncic Day in Los Angeles. I don't know if I formally I don't know if I formally have the power to declare a holiday in LA. Like, I did not get a sign off from Karen Bass or whatever. But
Luka didn't get the big key?
He did. To the best of my knowledge, Luka did not get a big key to the city from Karen Bass or whoever, but I don't give a damn. August 2nd was Luka Doncic Day in Los Angeles, and after an early morning workout in El Segundo in the facility, Luka showered up, put on a new and slimmer suit, because remember, we are now in the summer of Luka, the summer of shred, skinny Luka, and signed his new extension with the Lakers. He tweeted out before the press conference, quote, "I just signed my extension with the Lakers, excited to keep working to bring championships to LA, to make Laker Nation proud. Grateful to the Lakers, my teammates, and all the fans who've shown so much love since day one. This is just the beginning." Then he also added a purple heart and a gold heart when talking during the press conference about what led him to commit to the Lakers for at least part of his prime. There's at least a section of his prime that is now going to be with the Lakers. Luka said, quote, "The way they received me, the fans, the team, it was unbelievable. In that moment, I just felt something different." And we're going to play later on in the show. Brian and I actually got 4 or 5 minutes with Luka on the phone from the facility. So we're going to play that probably in about 10 or 15 minutes. There are obviously a ton of implications of Luka signing this extension with the Lakers. We're going to try to break down as many of them as we can. But here's one that jumps out right away to me. The way Luka very, very conscientiously built this thing up as an event. Like, last week was the week of Luka, beginning with the Men's Health cover story detailing the work that Luka did to become skinny Luka, leaning out, shredding his body a bit, dropping some of the excess mass that had been there. Like, he still has to maintain this moving forward. And Luka acknowledged this in the Men's Health article, basically saying, if I let up at all, then all of this is going to be for nothing. And we're going to see how Luka does over the course of the season, which, oddly enough, is usually the time where Luka has traditionally put on some weight and some conditioning issues have surfaced when he's playing as opposed to during the offseason. But for now, all Luka can do is commit to what's in front of him. And the commitment is obvious, whether you're talking about to fitness, conditioning, maximizing the prime that he is just about to start, and that prime is going to be with the Lakers. But you combine the Men's Health article and the way Luka looks with the appearances in Chicago and New York, dropping by a Yankees game, appearing on the Today Show. Again, this buildup to something big. And then it culminates on Saturday, signing this contract the very first day that he could with the Lakers. He was not eligible to sign this thing before August 2nd, but he does it on August 2nd before noon. Like, the press conference and everything is wrapped up before the afternoon has begun. That is part of building this thing up to event status. And I think that really matters. Like, in terms of just messaging to the Lakers organization, to Luka's teammates, to Laker fans. Like, Luka could have waited until today to sign the extension. Like, in all honesty, he could have waited till today, maybe just take the weekend to himself, or if he had other stuff going on, whatever. Let's just say this press conference happens today. They miss out on a Backstreet Boys concert, I guess, like the opportunity to go see the Backstreet Boys in Vegas with Rob Pelinka and Mark Walter and Jeannie Buss and Kurt Rambis and several teammates. And if you have not seen the videos of this, find them. They're easy.
We were the only ones not there.
These videos are hilarious, man. Like, Rob Pelinka, no matter what you've thought of the job that he's done, it is worth having had him run the Lakers just for the image of him rocking out to the Backstreet Boys. So incredibly awkward and dorky. It is just delightful. Kurt Rambis, you can see him trying to film the concert using his phone, No Country for Old Men.
I'm sorry, Kurt Rambis was filming? He was a cameraman?
It looked like he was using his phone to, I guess, film the. I don't know what you'd call it at. I don't know what you would call this at the Sphere, where like the wall,
The wall
whatever.
of-
But he's filming this. You've got Rui and Vando. Luka's apparently a very big Backstreet Boys fan.
I wonder which one is his favorite. And I thought that Luka might be an NSYNC guy more than a Backstreet guy.
Nope. Or let me tell you this way: if he ever was an NSYNC guy, the minute Dallas told him bye, done.
I see what you did there.
He gave up on NSYNC and became purely Backstreet committed. But apparently, like, this was not ironic. He really loves the Backstreet Boys. But, like, Luka could have signed this contract today. And for all intents and purposes, it's the same thing as far as functionally. Like, Rob Pelinka still has the same opportunities to do whatever work still remains for the offseason. Like, nothing really changes. But it hits different. It hits different if Luka does this today as opposed to doing this the very minute he is able to do it. Then it becomes let's effing go. Like, that's what Luka is messaging by doing this immediately. It is different emotionally, symbolically. There's a different galvanizing effect to it. There is a let's effing go. When you do this the very minute you can, combined with the work that Luka has already done this offseason with conditioning, with fitness, to bring out the best version of himself at this moment when he committed. Like, again, it is from an emotional, symbolic level, it is a different thing, and it's awesome. What's ironic, Mark Stein, from the Stein line, he runs his own Substack now, but longtime NBA reporter, very plugged in particular to all things Mavericks, which means he's become very plugged in with all things Luka. Luka had actually been planning a lot of this tour to culminate signing the extension that he assumed he'd be doing with Dallas. Like, a lot of this was set to culminate with signing in Dallas. Like, Luka wanted to do something big for the fan base of whatever team he was going to be with. He thought it was going to be with Dallas. It's now with the Lakers. And the Lakers, I think, now are going to reap all of the same benefits that Luka had planned to give Dallas, except I think even more motivated, even more fit, even more just ready to unleash hell on the rest of the NBA. And it is going to be awesome. With that in mind, though, Luka's got to go to war with his teammates. What does he think of the roster that is in front of him right now? He shared some thoughts in El Segundo. We'll get into those coming up next. Again, take your calls, 877-710-ESPN. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetsky, 710 ESPN.
Beat the heat this summer with NextGen, the official AC plumbing and electrical company of SoCal sports fans. If your AC breaks down, don't hesitate. Call NextGen now and enjoy expert installation on any new system. For a limited time, combat SoCal's air quality and reduce dust in your home with a free no-ozone air purifier included with any new AC system install. Call 833-3NEXTGen or visit nextgenairandplumbing.com to book online. CSLB number 1011173, lifetime warranty on selected items.
Waba Grill is an LA original, so we've got to keep it real. Real fresh with our Asian-inspired menu that's grilled to order every time.
Pick me up and never put me down.
Real quality with our marinated proteins like hormone-free chicken, ribeye steak, wild-caught salmon, and shrimp. Enjoy $5 happy hour weekdays after 3 p.m. with our 5-piece pork veggie dumplings and a value-sized premium beverage drink like our tangy passion fruit lemonade. Waba Grill, keeping it real every day for you.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand have helped thousands of people like you recover millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
710 ESPN.
The radio home of the purple and gold and the home of Lakers talk. With a new max deal and a whole preseason to work with, Luka is confident they have what it takes to compete next season.
Yeah, honestly, I think we have a great team. We have what we need to compete for the championship. Try to win every game, no matter what. And, we got some new great guys being on the team. And, we're going to go for it.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
More Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetsky rolls on.
Just who do ya? Just what makes you.
I see what you did here. See what you did here, DeAndre. I see what you did here, Funchy. A, playing some Prince. It's always going to put me in a good mood. B, there's been a trust extended between Luka Doncic and the Lakers. Luka is entrusting Rob Pelinka and the Lakers with at least part of his prime moving forward. And I don't know, there's no trust extended from Rob. He just needs to make it work. There's really no... Luka could have gained 100 pounds this offseason. He still would have gotten the exact same extension.
And don't forget, Mark Walter was dumping the money from a float, just like the Joker was in that movie.
Well, unfortunately, with NBA, CBA rules, it's not as simple as just tossing the money around, making it rain like Mark Walter and the gang do with the Dodgers. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetsky, 710 ESPN. Reminder, in about 15 minutes, we're going to talk with Dan Woike from The Athletic, covers the Lakers. And in about an hour, Raj Chipaloo from Silver Screen and Roll and Clutch Points, who also covers the Lakers. He also covers the South Bay Lakers. I want to talk with him maybe a little bit about Bronny and his development this offseason. Could he be potentially ready for even a 10th man role in the rotation? That could be very helpful for the Lakers. But as we just mentioned, Luka has extended his trust with the Lakers, which has led to an extension with the franchise, a commitment for the foreseeable future. And for all the talk about the plan for the Lakers, the summer of 2026, the summer of 2027, monitoring Giannis, monitoring Jokic. Are they going to go out star effery? That's the type of plan that they're looking for, and everything's just about superstars and the future. Luka made it very clear during this press conference that he wants to win championships right now. He also made it clear during the press conference that he believes that the Lakers right now have the ability to compete for championships. Quote, "We have what we need to compete for the championship. I'll try to win every game, no matter what. And we've got some great guys on the team, so we're going to go for it." And that's interesting because they are coming off a season where they won 50 games, and they were a 3 seed. But they got bounced in pretty unceremonious fashion by the Timberwolves in the first round. 4-1 series, gentleman's sweep. But the Timberwolves were clearly the best team in that series. And even if you think it was a bad matchup for the Lakers, West is a B, man. The West is brutal. So you got to be ready for any matchup. Like, the matchups are going to make a difference in these playoffs, especially in a West this competitive, this tight. But the truth is, you got to be ready. And looking at this roster, DeAndre, I would say the Lakers should not be considered championship frontrunners. We have not talked about them that way. Like, they still, I think, are a move or two away before you could start thinking about them as one of the teams to beat. But I do think, and we'll get into the reasons why, that they are better right now than the version of the team that got bounced in the first round by the Wolves. And there are a lot of reasons to be optimistic about this team just right now before we know anything that may come over the course of the season.
Yeah, I mean, with the addition of DeAndre Ayton, better center than Jackson Hayes, with the addition of Marcus Smart, a defender that the Lakers needed in that wing, he can switch as far as the Dejoretic system defensively. I mean, those are two upgrades compared to what they had last season. And I feel like the Lakers they're in the mix. They will be in the mix in the Western Conference, but just that Western Conference is tough, man.
It's brutal, man. I think the West is going – I mean, tell me if you disagree. I think the West is going to be a lot like it was last year, where the difference between the 2 or 3 seed and the 8 or 9 seed, maybe even the 10 seed, we're going to be talking a 3-game difference at best.
I agree.
I think it's going to be super tight yet again. I think every game is really going to matter. It's why the last couple of seasons, when I know I've been either on these shows or other places asked about the plan for managing LeBron, I'm like, it doesn't exist. The West is too hard. You can't do that.
Exactly, and there's a couple of games the Lakers when they were on the East Coast trip that that happened, that didn't go the way that they expected it to be, and they lost a couple in that one. We can get into that whole thing, but like you said, every game mattered, especially in the Western Conference. I mean, we've seen how close it was this past season. If the Lakers were close to being going into 2 seed and a 3 seed, they're right there with Houston. Like, it's going to be like that.
But they could have easily been a 6 seed.
Exactly, and then so it's going to be just like that come next season.
And the only player of note that mattered that they are losing from last year's rotation is Dorian Finney-Smith. And I think in some ways he is being replicated by Jake LaRavia in terms of the outside shooting, which LaRavia, by his own admission, and this was something I really liked during his introductory press conference. He was asked about last year's three-point shooting, which was a career high for LaRavia by a pretty decent margin, maybe 7-8%, something like that. And he said it's got to be at a higher volume before he can really start thinking about himself as a true impact outside shooter, which I thought was great because he could have just taken the bait, essentially playing along with being complimented. And instead said, like, no, I got to do more before you really start thinking about me as that type of shooter. But he has shown some promise as a shooter. He has shown some promise at times as a defender, as a defensive playmaker. Like, he's 23. He's got some upside, as opposed to like DFS, who's a more established player. But we saw at least some signs of physical decline. I mean, he's 32. The best years of DFS are certainly not in front of him unless the ankle surgery really does something great for him. Like, I think there is more potential upside with LaRavia than there was with DFS. And in the meantime, DeAndre Ayton, you mentioned how he's better than Jackson Hayes. That is not doing him nearly enough justice. Like, we're talking about a guy who has averaged a double-double over the course of his season. He's never averaged less than 10 rebounds in a season. He's never averaged less than 14 points. He averaged 3 offensive rebounds last year. I know that there are question marks and detractions about his motor, how much he truly loves the game, passion, whatever. And hopefully, knowing that he is really playing for his NBA life monetarily, if nothing else. Like, if this does not work with the Lakers, he's probably going to be somewhere between a taxpayer mid-level guy to maybe a vet min guy. Like, this is really going to affect him economically and his career trajectory. But even if he changes nothing, DeAndre, Ayton is better than Jackson Hayes. Like, the version of DeAndre Ayton that will piss off Laker fans the most is still a massive upgrade over Jackson Hayes.
Yeah, because he does a lot more offensively than Jackson Hayes. He's has a nice touch around the rim, can shoot the ball, but I think he's a better rim protector than Jackson Hayes. Is, and he's a better rebounder. Vertically, maybe, but I mean, as far as overall game, yes, he's better than Jackson Hayes. But the biggest factor with DeAndre Ayton is how much do you want it, man? How are you going to come in every single night and be inconsistent? You can't have a big drop off one night you're getting 20, you're getting 25 and 12, and then the following night you're only getting 8 and 6, whatever the case is. So you can't have a big drop off like that. The consistency is got to be there for DeAndre Ayton.
Do you think anybody in recent league history, if nothing else, has ever suffered more for giving themselves a nickname than DeAndre Ayton?
Oh my goodness, man!
The Dominating nickname.
It was great.
It's a great nickname if you live up to it. Like, once you throw that out there, like, I know that people since 2003 have been annoyed with the idea that LeBron James would dare tattoo King James on his back and declare himself that way. Who do you think you are doing that at like 16, 17, whatever? May not be your cup of tea, but he has certainly lived up to the King James tattoo. Like, I mean, he brought he met the hype. Even if you want to say it was self-generated hype, LeBron met it. DeAndre Ayton should have thought through the whole Dominating nickname before he went there.
And again, I understand. I'm hard on DeAndre Ayton because you see how his years with the Phoenix Suns, he was great, running the floor, doing everything that a big man need. As far as that Phoenix Suns, he was great.
A key part of them getting to the finals.
Part. And then you see what he was doing with the Portland Trailblazers. And I know that he actually came in our show and was explaining, like, look, man, like, it's you're looking at two different franchises. The Portland Trailblazers were in a franchise in rebuild mode, and they didn't really focus on winning right like that. They're trying to figure out, okay, what pieces do we need to be better for the future rather than the Lakers, who are trying to compete for a championship every single year. So he took that as a toll. Like, that's more of a motivating factor for him, knowing that he's in the championship roster, knowing that he's surrounded by two superstars, LeBron James, Luka Doncic. So hopefully that comes into this season with a different mindset compared to the Portland Trailblazers, where he's like, well, I mean, it's different because they're not competing. There's nice that we were losing a lot, and that took a toll on me.
He talked about during his introductory press conference, and we're going to talk with Dan Woike, by the way, in a couple minutes from The Athletic. But before we break, he talked about how, it's different when you are playing with a team that isn't really playing for anything and is going through a transition. They're kind of in flux. The last couple of years in Portland have been weird. And there's still an onus on Ayton to be a professional and, to live up to the job that you were brought in to do, to live up to what was a very big contract. And Ayton did not live up to that. But it is different. It is hard at times, I think, especially when you're a player that's been to the finals, to really get yourself engaged in that type of situation. Again, without making excuses for him, he still has to do it. I'm just saying, psychologically, I can understand. We've all, just picture your job. We've all had a job where it's felt like it ain't going anywhere. Like, this is not what I signed up for. This isn't going anywhere. I know I'm still expected to bring a certain amount to my job, but it's hard to get myself up for it because this doesn't feel like the thing I signed up for. But Ayton also said in this presser in so many words that he knows he is not seen as a winning player around the league, and it bothers him. He doesn't like it. And whether it's fair, not fair, a little bit of both, whatever, he's got an opportunity to change that perception. It sounded like he wants to, so we'll see what happens. All he can do right now is just say the right things, but at least he was saying them.
The only thing that just gets to me is that when you're a player with his caliber, you gotta like, you can't have those stuff around as far as your motivation factor, as far as your work ethic, as far as if you do even love the game of basketball. Like, there shouldn't be people around the league questioning that.
No.
And hopefully when he comes to the Lakers, there's going to be a lot more demand on him, and hopefully that changes his personality, the way he goes about the game, his mindset, his preparation. Like, the Lakers are going to expect a lot out of him, especially in that big man role, what they so desperately needed.
Well,
so he has a lot of shoes to fill.
Well, he's the only guy on the team that can fill it. Like, if DeAndre Ayton does not live up to what the Lakers need from him, the Lakers are going to be in just a somewhat better version than they had post-AD last season, where center just felt like a massive problem. We can talk about this and other items with Dan Woike, covers the Lakers for The Athletic. He is coming up next. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetsky, 710 ESPN.
Tomorrow, it's a heavyweight clash in League's Cup. The Black and Gold takes on Mexican powerhouse Tigres in the third and final match of Phase 1 in League's Cup.
It's over. LAFC LAFC have grabbed the extra point on a second save by Thomas Hasal in the shootout.
Pre-game of LAFC and Tigres starts tomorrow at 7 p.m.
We know they're a fantastic club, but we look at every game, every opportunity as a challenge that we welcome, especially here at home to fight and play in front of our fans.
On 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Winning matters, especially after an accident. At calljacob.com, we're here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB.
Back when I played, leg cramps were no joke. Fourth quarter, overtime, practice, even when I got home, they would hit out of nowhere. Had I known about Highland's leg cramps back in the day, I would have had a locker full of the stuff. Now I'm retired, I still get these cramps on my morning walks, hanging out with my daughter, but now I've got something that actually works. Highland's leg cramps. The tablets dissolve quickly under the tongue and don't upset my stomach. Cramps hit athletes, weekend warriors, couch coaches, all of us. Grab Highland's leg cramps and get it today at Walmart, Walgreens, or CVS.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. Flashy discounts, gimmicky sales? Don't fall for it. At Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, we give you honest, wholesale pricing all year long. No bogus markups, no tricks, just the best floors at the best prices. Call 866-62-FLOOR. No sale beats wholesale. Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, check them out at hernandezwholesaleflooring.net or call them at 866-62-FLOOR.
For the best prices on hardwood, carpet, and more, call 866-62-FLOOR.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
An off-season edition of Lakers Talk continues on 710 ESPN.
After Luka signed his max deal, Rob Pelinka talked about the future of LeBron with the Lakers.
In terms of LeBron's career, I think the number one thing we have to do there is respect he and his family's decision in terms of how long he's going to play. We want to respect his ability to come up with his timetable on that, but if he had a chance to retire a Laker, that would be great.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hogue Orthopedic Institute.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hogue Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HogueOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
More Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetsky rolls on.
Put on your red shoes and dance the blues.
Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetsky, ESPN LA 710. We are looking to track down Dan Woike from The Athletic. Covers the Lakers, get some of his thoughts on the press conference in El Segundo with Luka Doncic and the extension that he just signed. Also 877-710-ESPN if you want to weigh in. If you are holding, hang in there. I will get to you. But as we wait for Dan, we were talking before about Luka's optimism for the Lakers roster and what they could possibly do this season. And another thing about this that I think is interesting is there are legitimate questions about this roster that needs to be answered. You know, just between there's questions about Marcus Smart with the injuries over the last couple of years. Is he still capable of being a prime point of attack defender if he's really more suited now to guard bigger guards or wings? You know, what does that do in terms of the needs from him? Does it start creating a little bit more of a defensive logjam? There are questions that we went through just now, DeAndre, about DeAndre Ayton in terms of motor, in terms of desire, professionalism, that sort of stuff. Jake LaRavia is still an unproven player at this point. He's shown some good flashes of upside, but he's unproven. We have not seen the most cohesive version of LeBron and Luka, and I think to a lesser but still tangible extent, Austin Reeves working together. You know, what exactly is Rui's role this upcoming offseason? Like, there are a lot of questions. But I think it's important to remember that there are questions about other teams around the league too. Like, for all of the moves that Denver made this offseason, that the Clippers made this offseason, even Houston bringing in Kevin Durant this offseason, I still think that those teams have questions about their moves as well. And I don't know if anybody did anything that makes them feel truly bulletproof this summer, DeAndre, other than maybe the Thunder standing pat with the best team in the league. Like, they lost nobody.
I think along with the Thunder, I believe the Houston Rockets are like that team right now. They're like, yeah, we feel like the moves that we made can get us, you know, over that hump in the Western Conference. We feel like we are at least a Western Conference Finals team. And I mean, with the addition of Kevin Durant, great, but they kept the core players around him. As far as Thompson, you still got Van Vliet, you still got Şengün. Like they have the big man lineup that everyone needs in the league. So I feel like Houston is probably the other team that, along with the Thunder, I feel like real confident in the Western Conference.
The thing, though, that I find, I mean, look, obviously adding Kevin Durant is a coup, and I'm not going to pretend that it isn't. I mean, he is still, despite turning 37, he is still playing at a high level. But what I think, though, is interesting about Durant is, A, they don't have a lot of playmaking on this team, particularly when Fred VanVleet sits. So unless somebody like Şengün or, I don't know, Amen Thompson or maybe Reed Shepherd, their rookie from last
Holiday,
year.
they really like Aaron Holiday as well.
Unless somebody can step up as a playmaker to help KD get shots, there could be a lot of times where he's left to create for himself. And while I know that he can do that, obviously we've seen him over the years, that could put a lot on him. Like, I know he's the ultimate safety valve, but at the same time, if you keep having to release that valve, it means something isn't going well.
But they're like the type of team, though, that wants to use their defense into offense. So you look at what, you know, how the Rockets system is. Like, a lot of it, I mean, there was games they were struggling to score, and they felt like Kevin Durant was the guy that can go to late in the games, close it out. When the shot's needed, he can take that shot, he's going to knock it down. So they rely heavily on their defensive pressure to turn that into offense, getting out on the fast break. Yeah. And that's the team they're going to be. And I get what you're saying as far as that's going to be a lot of pressure on Kevin Durant. But I think that Houston want to go out there and trade all that to acquire Kevin Durant and doesn't feel like he can make a difference in this team.
Yeah, and this is the other thing, though, that I think is interesting about Durant. And I want to preface this by saying I'm not saying that this is Kevin Durant's fault, per se, but teams have not gotten better with him there since in a while. Like, a team has not improved. Hold on 1 second, really quick, texting something to Funchy. Check the number I just texted you, Funchy. Too difficult talking and texting at the same time.
It's all good.
Teams have not really improved with Kevin Durant's arrival in a while. Like, it has been a while since a team dramatically improved consistently since Kevin Durant arrived. You got to really go back to Golden State, and that was a team that didn't even need him. I'm not saying he didn't make them better, because he did. Like, he made them basically unbeatable without severe injury, like with what happened in 2019. But that was a team that didn't really need Durant. But then in the meantime, Brooklyn did not get consistently better with Durant. Again, I'm not saying it's all his fault. I'm saying it didn't happen. Phoenix clearly did not get better with Kevin Durant. Again, I'm not saying it's all his fault, because I genuinely don't think it is. But nonetheless, it's been a while since a team has raised its floor in the way that everybody expected, or raised its ceiling in the way that everybody expected with Kevin Durant's arrival. And the thing that I do wonder about with him is, when adversity hits, how does he handle it? And if he's not the guy that can be the leader, is there somebody else on a team that can be? I think if there's someone else that can be, cool. But if you need Durant to be the leader, it doesn't so far seem like he's really good at leading teams through pockets of adversity.
Yeah, as far as like vocally, I don't really see him going out there speaking guys vocally. He does more of it like, I'm gonna have my game and I'm gonna motivate my my teammates through the style of my play. So I mean, but I feel like Udoka is gonna get the most out of him, knowing that if Kevin Durant is not responsive to coaching. But I mean, coming from Phoenix, you got a guy like Budenholzer. I mean, you see how that happened. You see how the spiral was with that team. The players didn't really, match well with Budenholzer. But seeing how Udoka is, I think it'll be good.
Say that one more time. I
was just saying in regards, you saying how how would Kevin Durant respond, to coaching, him having to be the leader. I feel like he's one of those guys that he motivates his teammates on the way he plays, get into the right spots, getting others involved, and
look. Of the teams that made offseason moves, Houston is the one that I have the least questions about. And I want to make it clear. Houston's going to be good with Kevin Durant. I mean, they were good last year without Durant. They're going to be good, I think, again this year. My larger point is just when you look at Houston, and then I think to a more tangible degree, Denver, the Clippers, Minnesota losing Nickeil Alexander-Walker without replacing him and needing young guys like Terrence Shannon Jr. or Jalen Clark to really step up in ways that we haven't seen. Rob Dillingham, is he capable of providing real minutes on the floor as a point guard? I think with Denver, Cam Johnson has had a lot of injuries himself. People focus on the ones Michael Porter Jr.'s had, but there's been a lot for Cam Johnson. Bruce Brown has not been the player on that Nuggets squad that took out the Lakers in a couple seasons. The Clippers, they've got a lot of depth now, but they've got a lot of depth that's old. And I'm not even saying this to try to, pump up as a Laker fan or anything like that. Again, the Lakers have legit questions they need to answer. And I don't think they should be considered one of the front runners. I just feel like some of their questions, like their question marks, however legit, have been scrutinized more than some of these other teams that I think do have legit question marks, but often get a benefit of the doubt.
But the Lakers had a lot more holes, and from what I've from seeing last season to now, had a lot more holes compared to the other teams. Like the Lakers didn't have a true big man, and then they lacked a lot defensively. And then when their offense wasn't going, it was getting staggered. So I feel like that's why the Lakers get scrutinized a lot more compared to other teams, is because they had a lot more holes compared to the Houston Rockets, compared to a Minnesota Timberwolves, compared to a Clippers team. But the Lakers addressed those issues. They did go out and address those issues. And I just want to see how the roster is going to be complete with a full training camp with Luka Doncic, him getting traded in mid-season. Got a full training camp with this whole team now too.
Well, in the meantime too, that training camp that you're talking about, DeAndre, that's huge. And okay, we have done some efforting, but no, we have finally now gotten through the technical difficulties, and joining us, Dan Woike covers the Lakers for The Athletic. He knows this team inside and out. You can follow him on Twitter at Dan WOIKE Sports. Brother, how are you?
I'm having weird phone issues, but I'm glad to be here on Lakers Talk. Ironically, was unable to talk to you guys briefly, but
well, I'm glad that we managed to figure this out. You were at Luka's presser on Saturday, and before we get into what was said, who was there, who wasn't there, you saw Luka in person. How does he look?
Mm-hmm. Young. I mean, he looks skinnier, right? Obviously, but I think the biggest thing is he looks happy, and maybe that's a byproduct of losing some weight, getting some of that, Balkan sun. That stuff all helps. I had a conversation with someone who works in the Lakers organization. I was just like, man, it's tans go a long way. Mm-hmm. You get a little sun, like Rui Hachimura is, I think, been on every beach on every continent, and you see Rui was at the press conference, man, Rui looks great. Look how refreshed he is. It's like he's just been outside.
We're not talking about skinny Rui or anything.
No, right? And but I mean, I think with Luka, it's not Photoshop. He's lost a tremendous amount of weight. He has been very, very serious about his conditioning and about his diet. I have a story that's running tomorrow, I think, on The Athletic. I mean, this guy hasn't played a second of 5-on-5 basketball this summer. Not yet. At least he's going to this week. He'll play for the first time with the Slovenian national team. But, like, his focus has been very, very regimented in ways that it traditionally hasn't been. And I think even more so, I should say, than it has been in the past. I know there's been some discussion, this is every other summer as he does this, he does this. I mean, like, people can believe it or not. He said it. I've spoken to people on his training staff. I've spoken to people on his management team. There was a feeling always that it would, like, eventually to some degree click for him, right? There would be a more holistic approach to all of this, that he would dive in deeper on the conditioning aspect. And, he's been a pretty dominant player, being in the shape that he's been in. He wants to be even better, wants to be even more available. I think it's very good timing for the Lakers to be signing that player to an extension right now.
Talking with Dan Woike, he covers the Lakers for The Athletic. Andy Kamenetsky, Lakers Talk 710 ESPN. It's interesting when you mention the idea that there will be skeptics, and I've heard from plenty of them, saying that we've seen Luka do this before. This is very normal for him. That may be true, and ultimately there's an onus on Luka to maintain. But one thing, though, that I do think could at least make this different is Luka may have lost weight in previous off seasons, but he's never drawn so much attention towards it intentionally, like gone out of his way to make sure everybody knows he's done this, which means if by December or January he's clearly backslid, he's going to make a fool out of himself. Like, that's going to actually be humiliating. And I would imagine Luka understands that he's put himself out on a limb, and now he really has to maintain.
Yeah, I mean, I think, there's this type of thing requires a lot of trust, right? You have to trust your team around you. You have to trust the people in the Lakers organization and their medical team and their strength and conditioning team and their nutrition team. And like, you got to find something that works for you too, right? And they found something this summer that works for Luka, or at least it's worked this summer for Luka. Now, it will not. No one thinks that this plan that he has undergone to lose this weight will work the same way during the regular season. He's not going to fast 16 hours a day.
Nor should
during the NBA season, right? Like, he's not going to play an NBA game, and it's because it's after 8 p.m. It's going to be like, well, I just got to drink, water with lemon. That's not going to be the plan, right? Like, but I think, with the Lakers and their nutrition team and different things like that, I think when you have a willingness and the means to coordinate this type of stuff and to monitor it, I think you're right. Like, they've been, I would think from his like brand management team, right? There's a little bit of a risk when you put yourself on the cover of Men's Health magazine, right? That
felt years ago. I mean, not that long ago, Dan. That would have felt like the punchline to a really rude joke, like Luka Doncic on the cover of Men's Health.
Yeah, and I think, I think that there's another part of this too, right? It's like, I mean, I think it's understanding like the things that make a great athlete are different sometimes than the things that made Bo Jackson a great athlete, that made Carl Lewis a great, like athleticism isn't, it's in a, it's a much larger bucket, I think, sometimes than like run and jump. I think one of the things with Luka, right, it's like force and the ability to slow down and stop, right, has always been a thing that he's like measured off the charts with, his ability, like when they do like those sort of like force plates and different things, like he's incredibly strong. And I think, you lean into your strengths, you get rid of some of your weaknesses. And by the way, like, hopefully, like, I mean, part of losing the weight is like that he should be more available. And generally speaking, it should be less strain on his joints, different things like that. That's an exciting thing, I think, for the Lakers. And I mean, bigger picture, right? It shows that he's committed to being the best version of himself. I think the Lakers, and I've heard people in the organization say this, like, have felt that like this is someone who could be the best player in the league, if he was in, peak shape. And I don't think that's a controversial statement. He's been pretty close to the best player in the league, and in varying levels of shape. But in the best possible shape, we don't know. And I think we're going to see it this year, and see what he looks like as a player when he's committed this way to being, giving himself the best possible chance to dominate.
Talking with Dan Woike, covers the Lakers for The Athletic. You can follow him on Twitter at Dan Woike Sports. Andy Kamenetsky, Lakers Talk, ESPN LA. As you know, Dan, in our industry, sports media, there is nothing more important than power rankings, obviously. Fan bases live and die by where teams get ranked in these totally meaningless rankings and totally arbitrary. But a very close second, Dan, off-season grades. And you just gave an off-season grade to the Lakers and Rob Pelinka. You gave them a B-. Explain the thought process for this B-.
Okay. So, I mean, part of it is obviously, you're always a little harsher on the people you see the most.
It's only because we love
there's
them.
There's an element of that. And I think I think this was the grade came prior to the Doncic extension. So we'll tick up a little bit probably. If I redid it today, it'd probably be a B, like a really solid B. They've done a lot of things really well. And as far as here's the other thing too, right? If you grade them, I think in a vacuum, they've had in some ways an A+ off season, right? The goal, Rob Pelinka's goal this off season was to re-sign Luka Doncic, to have the team be competitive, and to do so while maintaining future flexibility, right? Check, and check. I think on that front,
yeah.
I have my skepticisms about DeAndre Ayton and Marcus Smart. I think DeAndre Ayton certainly at the cost is the best they could have done as far as ceiling goes. It's the highest of any real available center to them. The floor is a little scary, I think. Marcus Smart, to me, it's, I wrote this at the time after the signing. You watch a Marcus Smart highlight film, and you're struck by two things. One, oh, my God, this guy makes so many winning plays. Two, oh, my God, the guys he's making them against look so young because the video is from so long ago. Look at Shea. Look at Shea. He doesn't even have braids yet. It's stuff like that, right? Jason Tatum's beard hasn't filled in. So I think that to me is the scarier stuff of it. Did they keep pace with the Houston Rockets? Hard to say. I mean, look, Houston had a showier offseason.
In all honesty, I don't think they really.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's all sort of relative, right? I think we'll see what happens. I didn't love the fact that they traded up to draft a player that wasn't physically ready to play in the summer league. That seems like maybe a little bit of a miss. But we don't judge that stuff now, but I think there's that. They weren't able to shake loose a roster spot to keep Jordan Goodwin or sign another veteran. But I think, look, as the child of people who worked in insurance, all right, you don't scoff at Bs. You have a B average, you get that good student discount.
Dan Woike covers the Lakers for the Athletic.
They don't give you extra points if it's an A average. All right,
that is not the comp that I expected, or the analogy I expected, but that's pretty good. You noted also too in giving a grade to the Lakers, and this is, I believe, this is in the Athletic newsletter, correct? That everybody.
I think that's where they put it.
You noted that there's an awkwardness right now between the Lakers and the LeBron. Where do you think?
Yeah, there's been some.
Where do you think things stand right now between LeBron and the Lakers, and what do you think is the primary tension point?
I think things relatively speaking are. I know it said awkwardness is right. I think relatively speaking things are fine. I think there is an inherent awkwardness with this situation that will exist until he decides to retire, whenever that is. And that awkwardness is that and this has been true for 3 years, it's really hard to plan for a player at this stage in his career when it comes to putting assets into play to improve the roster around him. It's prudent in some ways to think about the future. Why wouldn't you think about the future? He's going to be 41 in December. He's also still really freaking good, like really, really good. And if you lost him, it would hurt, and it would hurt badly because he's that level of a player. So I think that's the push-pull, right, is like this sort of how much do you invest? He's the ultimate win-now player, right? But I think, we can just look at Phoenix and look to sometimes how win-now decisions can backfire. Russell Westbrook was a win-now decision.
That one, I think we can all agree backfired, Dan. And it feels like,
and I think, and that's not to say that the Lakers track has been correct with LeBron James. I think it's hard to know. I just believe that it's like he has every reason for them to trade. Take this 31 first round pick really quickly here, right? So you have this the value. If the Lakers could get, I'm just making up a name, okay? If the Lakers could get, say, Corey Kispert for that draft pick. Corey Kispert's a really good shooter. Like a more proven version, we'll say, of Dalton Connect, slightly, a little more expensive. But okay, cool. Like that first round pick goes for a rotation player. Like LeBron James would probably be excited about that. That's a guy that, or Robert Williams, or, take your pick on usable NBA player, right? Contavious Caldwell-Pope. Let's ignore the salary stuff. That would help the Lakers in the now. If the Lakers trade that 2031 first-round pick and the trade deadline rolls around and they need to cover up for some other mistake or another player's available that fits their needs, like the cupboard is bare. Like they have nothing until, draft night next year, when 2033 would unlock. If this plan is about future flexibility and if this plan is about having optionality, it's a big Rob Pelinka buzzword. I kind of believe they want to go into draft night and have access to 2031, 2033, and their first round pick that night. Like that's the most they can put into play on a single night in quite a long time. Is they can actually offer 3 first round picks and they can take a player into cap space. Is a way they can move it and they can make a trade on draft night is the type of thing that they haven't really had access to. Now, who's the best player those 3 first round picks get you? I'm not sure it gets you into the tier that everybody thinks it does. But I think you get a really good player.
Right. I think, and this is what I think is going to be really interesting for the Lakers to figure out, Dan. We're talking with Dan Woike from The Athletic, covers the Lakers. Just what type of player is enough for them? Because, as an example, I would not trade.
Wait, who's the them in this situation? The Lakers or LeBron? Sorry.
For the Lakers ultimately, because they would make that type of decision. LeBron may have his own opinions, but it's been made very clear right now his opinions are not going to dictate what the Lakers do. A guy like Robert Williams, because you brought him up as a hypothetical in Portland, I would not trade a first for Robert Williams.
Absolutely not.
Because he's hurt too often. I would honestly not trade a first for Corey Kispert. I don't think he moves the needle.
Absolutely not.
Right.
I agree.
So there's where I think the tension lies. The idea of LeBron wanting to see them just empty the chamber in order to just try to do whatever it takes. And if it doesn't work, you can say that you made a good try on LeBron's half, but the problem is then you don't have that asset for the longer build with Luka. So I think that the Lakers really have to be, in all honesty, pretty picky about this. And it'd be one thing if they had, Oklahoma City's war chest of assets. Then they could just say, you know what, screw it. Let's just do it Andrew Wiggins, because he had been rumored to be somebody that the Lakers might have been having conversations about. Is he worth a first? Probably not, but screw it. Let's just do it. The Lakers are not in a position where they can just throw caution to the wind that way, and especially now that they have Luka. Maybe they could have done it if it was just LeBron and AD, because it felt like they weren't really sure where to go anyway, so they might as well just push all the chips in. But now that you have Luka and somebody that you're going to be building around, they do actually have to be more prudent. And LeBron may not like it, but I would think there's at least a part of him that can understand it.
Yeah, I mean, I think look, I think he can understand it and not like it, right? Like that's certainly a reasonable response to all of this. Like, again, it is in his interest to have the best possible players around him because he's about to play his 23rd NBA season, and there's no guarantee there's going to be a 24th, right, or a 25th or whatever, right? Like, that's just like time will eventually win here. We don't know when, but eventually it's going to win. So, yeah, I mean, what does he care about 2031? Unless the Lakers were going to use that pick on like Zuri James, like that means nothing to him.
Now that would be a story,
right? Like, so, I mean, who knows? But I think I think it is interesting as to like what is a needle moving type of player. I mean, I wouldn't have traded that first for Daniel Gafford.
I wouldn't either.
Like, for me,
I wouldn't. That's
not good. Like, it's just not good enough.
I wouldn't either.
You know what I mean? I think it has to be somebody that's like if you're gonna use that pick and take you out of, I mean, essentially all other real big conversations moving forwards, right? Like, it's going to be really tough to get something significant done. After that, I mean, I think you have to get a pretty premier player at his position. And guess what? Like, the cost for those players is more than a first-round pick.
And that's what's going to make Rob Pelinka's job very complicated but very exciting moving forward. He is Dan Woike. He covers the Lakers for The Athletic. You can follow him on Twitter at Dan Woike Sports, WOIKE. Some of the best Lakers coverage out there. Appreciate the time, brother. Thank you.
Thanks, Andy. Appreciate you.
And coming up, we will take your calls if you're holding. We're going to get to them next. 877-710-ESPN. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetsky, 710 ESPN.
Ignite your afternoons at Waba Grill's $5 happy hour with our 5-piece pork veggie dumplings and a value-sized premium one beverage drink, like our tangy passion fruit lemonade. Enjoy $5 happy hour weekdays after 3 p.m. Only at Waba Grill.
You know I love the outdoors and adventures. Hey, it's Travis calling all adventurers. Page, Arizona is your ultimate outdoor playground. Snap that iconic shot at Horseshoe Bend. Then hike the stunning 11-mile rim trail. Explore one of 13 breathtaking slot canyons, including world-famous Antelope Canyon. Craving water fun? Cruise Lake Powell by kayak, jet ski, or houseboat, or float the Colorado River to Lee's Ferry. Make Page your base camp for day trips to Grand Canyon, Zion, and the Wave. Start planning your trip today at visitpageaz.com.
Looking for paint that actually lasts? Vista Paint delivers expert quality, rich color, and pro-trusted durability, backed by over 60 years of experience. From your home to your next big project, we've got you covered. Vista Paint, since 1956.
Thinking about selling your home? Seller's Advantage makes it easy. No agents, commissions, open houses, or costly repairs. They'll give you a fair cash offer with no surprises. One seller said, and I quote, "Seller's Advantage was faster, easier, and more rewarding than listing my house. The offer matched my expectations, and the process was stress-free." Call 888-390-AS-IS or visit sellersadvantage.com for your free cash offer.
DRE number 01961658.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
Hey, John Ireland here for Thrive Cybersecurity. We all know in sports that defense wins games and turnovers kill you. That's also true in business. The truth is 1/3 of businesses will unwittingly turn over their sensitive company data to thieves this year. Don't let that happen to you. Remember this website, thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. Thrive starts with a comprehensive cyber risk assessment. Their security analysts identify gaps and deliver proactive solutions to help keep your network healthy and protected. It's not a matter of if, it's when. Get ready. Visit thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. That's thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. Play defense. Use Thrive and protect your business.
Hot damn! Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea just got harder with Twisted Tea Extreme. The hard iced tea taste you know and love, but with an 8% kick of alcohol. Twisted Tea Extreme is made with real brewed tea, goes down smooth, and brings your daytime drinking to the next level. Just look for the bright yellow cans in the cooler and get ready to dial up the fun. Big flavor, extreme kick. Twisted Tea Extreme. Keep it twisted!
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
The greatest stories aren't found in books or films or folk songs. The stories that truly bring us together are found in ESPN Fantasy Football. Stories of late-round love and first-round heartbreak. Tales of Hail Marys and Monday Night Miracles. Chronicles of punishments. Oh, the punishments. Friends growing closer than ever through the power of humiliation. It's all here. And while the football might be fantasy, the stories, very real. Download the ESPN Fantasy app, sign up, and write the story of your season.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
710 ESPN.
KSPN, Los Angeles.
A good karma brands radio station. This is Lakers Talk on 710 ESPN.
Where Lakers fans tap in for all the latest surrounding the purple and gold. After signing his max deal with the Lake Show, Luka is ready to get down to business.
It's an honor, playing for this organization. Many great players played here, so obviously I want to add one more up there, so that's what we're working for.
Now that Luka has his max deal out of the way, Rob Pelinka knows winning trophies is next on the list.
We like the upgrades we're able to make to the roster, but by no means are we going to be satisfied. I think every year we're on an infinite cycle to try to improve this team and win championships, and we'll stay committed to that work.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hogue Orthopedic Institute. When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hogue Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HogueOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
An off-season edition of Lakers Talk is on.
Here's Andy Kamenetsky.
Thanks again to Dan Woike from The Athletic for dropping by, for braving through the tech issues we were having. About 10 minutes, we're going to talk to Raj Chipaloo from Silver Screen and Roll and Clutch Points. He also covers the Lakers, as well as the South Bay Lakers and the Sparks. So he's got his eye on everything LA basketball. I want to talk a little bit about LeBron and where he fits into all this stuff with the Luka era. There's been a lot of speculation, but I want to take some of your calls first. Let's begin with, as is often the case, over in New Jersey, Mitch. You're on Lakers Talk. What's up, Mitch?
Hey, Andy. How you doing?
Good.
Pretty late here. Let's start this early if you don't mind. I'm just kidding. Now that I'm going to have Luka for, 8 years?
We didn't call you, Mitch. You called us.
That's true.
Late. I mean, you called us.
I'm wrong. I'm usually wrong anyway. We should get the Anthony Melton is still out there. Do you think we still get another star somehow? And too bad we didn't go after Michael Porter, because they gave a first-round pick in Michael Porter for Cam Thomas, I believe.
No.
Right.
Cam Johnson went over to Cam Johnson went to Denver. Cam Thomas is a restricted free agent and still in limbo with Brooklyn.
I know we're both in the same team. I can't play next time, but this is your show. Thanks for taking my show. This is my call. See, I can't even say it right. I'm sorry. Thank you.
All right. As far as getting Michael Porter Jr., I'm guessing it's one of two things. Either the Lakers didn't want his contract, or if they reached out, there was nothing. Or getting Michael Porter Jr., I don't think Denver was going to deal with the Lakers.
It's really too expensive, man.
He makes about like $37 million.
Yeah.
And I saw something that the Denver Nuggets were able to turn that $37 million into 4 players.
I was thinking about this directly initially when Mitch brought this up. I was thinking about this from Brooklyn's side, but in order to make this happen, it would have actually needed to initiate with Denver. And I am guessing Denver is not trading Michael Porter Jr. to the Lakers.
And also, you don't want a guy that had back problems since he was 17.
Well, I mean, those back problems didn't get in the way of him shredding the Lakers.
That did not.
Sure.
Yeah, that's true.
Being champion now, too.
Dude, Rui's got like PTSD from some of those times having to guard Porter. Like Michael Porter Jr., for all the talk about in the last 2 series, Jokic and, stopping Jokic and greatest player in the world and what's AD doing, I think especially in the 2024 playoffs, I think AD played Jokic to a pretty reasonable draw. Like, I don't think AD was the problem. Frankly, Jokic was great, but I don't even think Jokic was the problem. The problem was they had nobody who could slow down Michael Porter Jr.
And Jamal Murray.
And, well, Jamal Murray in the last 30 seconds of every game. Most of those games,
seriously.
he wasn't very good.
I know, right?
Just the last
first
47-30.
47-30, he's bad. But then the last 30 seconds, he just does something.
Peter in Ontario, you're on Lakers Talk. What's up, Peter?
What's up? How you guys doing?
Good, man.
A couple of quick points. I don't think we're as bad or as low in the West that people might think. I mean, last I checked, LeBron and Luka, I would say they're either 1, 2, or 3 as the two best players on each team. Would you agree?
Rephrase that.
So what I'm saying is Luka and LeBron combined, I think, as far as stars players, is better, in my opinion, than Joker and let's just say Murray.
So
Would
you're
you
saying
agree?
that the Lakers have as good of a 1-2 punch as anybody in the league?
Yes,
exactly. I think you can make that case, particularly with like Jason Tatum likely to miss most, if not all, of next season. So if you wanted to bring Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown into that mix for next season, it doesn't matter. I mean, I think there are a few teams that can make that case. Shea and Jalen Williams, that is an awfully good duo. Man.
Absolutely, they're the champions.
Really good.
I just think we're going to be a pretty good team. You know, we got AR coming back, and if our center that we got plays, will definitely play better than Jackson Hayes. He gives us 14 and 10. That's pretty damn good for a third option or fourth option even. I think we're gonna, if we can gel and get maybe a guy, a knockdown shooter, I think we could be in that, definitely in top, at least the third seed for sure.
Well, I appreciate the call there, Peter. And I think Peter's making a good point. We've tried to make this during the show. There can be two things true at once, as George Sedano often likes to say. Two things can be true. The Lakers have some question marks heading into this season. The Lakers should also be a good team. Like, they are a good team. They were a 50-win team last year and a 3 seed. And the roster, I think, both on paper and also just contextually common sense, should be better this coming season. They only lost 1 rotation player and brought in 3 with DeAndre Ayton, Marcus Smart, and Jake LaRavia. You're going to get a full training camp with LeBron and Luka and Austin and J.J. Redick, who now has a full season of coaching under his belt. If somebody like Jake LaRavia can actually continue to improve from what he did last year, which was kind of a breakout year for him, and Memphis, their GM, Zach Kleiman, actually said on the record they made a mistake not picking up his fourth-year option, which led to him being a free agent this past offseason and also them trading him because they knew they weren't going to be able to keep him. As it turns out, he would have been more useful than they gave credit to. Like, there is on paper, and I think also in terms of what we've seen, a lot to like with these Lakers. It's just the West is going to be hard. The West is really flipping hard. So even the littlest discrepancies between teams can really matter. Real quick, David in Fontana. You're on Lakers Talk. What's up, David?
What's up, Andy? So speaking of what you just said, the West being hard, I'm thinking which would be the best or the worst matchup for the Lakers in the playoffs? So you think about the last couple of years, they've been bounced out by the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. I think those would be tough matchups, as well as Houston. What do you think would be the worst and the best matchups for the Lakers in the playoffs?
I actually don't think Denver would be nearly the bad matchup that it was a couple of years ago. I think that the Lakers beat them enough last year, and there's been enough change from that Denver team that I'm not saying they would be easy. Any team with Jokic is going to be difficult, but I don't know if Denver is as bad of a matchup for the Lakers as it used to be. I mean, we'll see. Minnesota, Houston, I think teams with a lot of like really long, athletic, two-way wings. DeAndre, I think, could be tough for the Lakers on both sides of the ball. I think a good matchup, to be honest, could be the Clippers, just because I don't trust at least some of their key guys to either be healthy in the playoffs or, in the case of somebody like James Harden, to actually perform on a regular basis in the playoffs.
I was going to say the Clippers or either the Memphis Grizzlies. If the Grizzlies somehow find a way to sneak in and the Lakers somehow are able to pair up with them in the playoff standings, I would feel like between those two teams would be ideal for the Lakers to match up early in the round. The worst is definitely got to be Houston.
Actually, if the Lakers could somehow get the Warriors in the first round, I like that too.
I don't think the Warriors are going to be a top 6 team in the West. I think they got a lot of stuff going on there, and I don't think their team as a whole is fulfilled enough compared to other teams in the Western Conference. I think they'll be six seed or below.
Well, the Lakers could be a 3 seed and face them in the first round then, DeAndre.
We'll see. We'll see. But I mean, it's easy to give projections this early on. But I don't see the Lakers facing the Warriors in the playoffs
because they're that much better. That's what you're saying, because they're that much better. The Warriors have no business facing them in the first round. Okay, we can talk about this stuff. And also, again, Luka getting his extension with the Lakers with Raj Chipaloo from Clutch Points and Silver Screen and Roll. He is coming up next. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetsky, 710 ESPN.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. Flashy discounts, gimmicky sales? Don't fall for it. At Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, we give you honest, wholesale pricing all year long. No bogus markups, no tricks, just the best floors at the best prices. Call 866-62-FLOOR. No sale beats wholesale. Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, check them out at hernandezwholesaleflooring.net or call them at 866-62-FLOOR.
For the best prices on hardwood carpet and more, call 866-62-FLOOR.
Waba Grill is an LA original, so we've got to keep it real. Real fresh with our Asian-inspired menu that's grilled to order every time.
Pick me up and never put me down.
Real quality with our marinated proteins like hormone-free chicken, ribeye steak, wild-caught salmon, and shrimp. Enjoy $5 happy hour weekdays after 3 p.m. with our 5-piece pork veggie dumplings and a value-sized premium beverage drink like our tangy passion fruit lemonade. Waba Grill, keeping it real every day for you.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand have helped thousands of people like you recover millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
An off-season edition of Lakers Talk continues on 710 ESPN.
After Luka signed his max deal, Rob Pelinka talked about the future of LeBron with the Lakers.
In terms of LeBron's career, I think the number one thing we have to do there is respect he and his family's decision in terms of how long he's going to play. We want to respect his ability to come up with his timetable on that. But if he had a chance to retire a Laker, that would be great.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
More Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetsky rolls on.
This is the perfect song for us to be coming in with 7779311. By the time, kind of marking how we are having difficulties with phone numbers tonight. There, for some reason, the phones are not working for us calling out. They're only working for us for folks calling in to us because we're efforting to get Dan Woike on the phone, and we are currently efforting to get Raj Chipaloo on the phone.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on either, but
appropriate song though.
It is again very, very apropos.
Didn't know Prince wrote this song.
When in doubt with the time, he may have written many of their songs. He was both a prolific songwriter and kind of a control freak, and that was often a big point of tension between Prince and the time because they resented being seen.
I never knew this was a time song.
Oh, yeah.
The first time I heard this song was Tupac sampling this song.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What song sampled it?
He sampled this on the All Eyes on Me album. I just forgot what song.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I love this song. 7779311, fantastic. But yeah, we're having these issues tonight. Hopefully, Raj should be calling in any second now. We're going to get into also with Raj and also afterwards the LeBron of it all. Seeing a lot of people in the chat right now for Lakers Talk on YouTube, and appreciate everybody who is chiming in right now. Lot of anxiety about LeBron, a lot of, frankly, disdain towards LeBron. Like, it's something that I know gets talked about a lot, but the relationship between LeBron and Laker fans is a very interesting, often very tenuous, kind of touchy relationship. One that it's a weird thing, and I've often described the LeBron era with the Lakers as weird. Like, I've been asked on many occasions to describe how I would sum up the LeBron era, and my word is always weird because it hasn't been completely unsuccessful. They've won a championship. They've been to the Western Conference Finals. They've generally won a lot of games. LeBron has accomplished some pretty awesome things in a Laker uniform, most notably becoming the all-time leading scorer in NBA history. But they've also missed the playoffs a couple times. They've been knocked out of the first round a couple times. And it's just felt a lot of times like 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, and nothing really sustainable. Some of this was, I think, really marked by the Russell Westbrook deal and how much that just, in a lot of ways, torpedoed what the Lakers were doing. It shut the window for the LeBron and AD era much faster than anybody expected. It was obviously a disastrous decision that everybody from LeBron to Anthony Davis to Rob Pelinka to even Jeannie Buss, they all need to own it. But ultimately, that is in a lot of ways the thing that derailed the LeBron era. But also, it's just always felt like there's been kind of a disconnect between LeBron and Laker fans, between Laker fans and LeBron. Just, it's been a weird thing. We're going to get into that. But right now, I'm going to talk with Raj Chipaloo from Silver Screen and Roll. Clutch Points. Appreciate you getting through our technical issues there, Raj. I don't know what's going on tonight, but it's been tough.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but I'm happy to be on here.
All right, so the extension just happened now with Luka, and it's obviously a really big deal for the organization, massive day in Lakers franchise history. What has excited you the most about the Luka era now that it's upon us?
Yeah, so I think we do this in the NBA where we really fixate, Andy, on, the margins, right? Hitting on first-round picks, hitting on second-rounders, but getting guys like Luka Doncic extended is the whole entire game, right? That's the whole thing this whole universe is built on and is supported on. So the Lakers, in my opinion, they just extended a generational talents. Luka Doncic goes number one among a lot of other number one picks, and they have their superstar of the future. So I think that's why you saw Rob Pelinka, celebrating next to him at at the concert, and I think that was just a monumental day in Lakerland, to quote that same Pelinka. But that's what's exciting to me. You have a transcendent generational star. We just watched Shai Gilgeous-Alexander win the championship a few months ago, and in my opinion, Luka Doncic is a better player than him, and you have that guy in his prime locked up for at least the next 2 years, where he'll, hopefully then extend again. But that's what's super exciting to me. You have your, next superstar locked in.
We'll get into what you think of Marcus Smart and DeAndre Ayton as fits, how you think they either will or won't help the team. But how much do you think it matters that Luka actually recruited those guys? Like, that he played a role in helping shape this roster that will mark the beginning truly of the Luka Doncic era?
I think it matters a lot, right? And the Lakers have, built their brand on being partners with superstars. That goes back all the way, right? And so Luka Doncic is right in line. And I think it's very important that he had a hand in the decision-making, that he's involved in the conversations. He talked about the archetypes that he was interested in terms of, wanting a spacer, wanting, a shot, a rim protector. Did the Lakers get everything on his wish list? I'm not 100% sure, and we'll see how long that timetable is to get everything on that wish list. But I think it's very important that he had, autonomy in, what happened with this roster, and to come into a leadership position. It was striking to me the difference between him, at that extension press conference versus the one where he was just traded here and looked like his life just turned upside down. He wanted to get through that. It looked like as quickly as possible. Fast forward to the press conference where he extended and he's smiling. I think he opened up the press conference, Andy, with a joke. Just a much different guy. Obviously, I think losing, the weight, he looks younger as well. And so a lot of it has all kind of come to where Luka Doncic looks very comfortable in LA. And he has an opportunity, and I've said this, other places, that being the face of the Lakers is very not only financially advantageous. Luka Doncic understands worldwide stardom as well, and being the face of the Lakers is an opportunity that very few people get the chance to have. And I think Luka Doncic understands that and has completely, bought into that opportunity that he has.
Talking with Raj Chipaloo, covers the Lakers for Silver Screen and Roll. He also covers the South Bay Lakers for Clutch Points Lakers Talk. Andy Kamenetsky, 710 ESPN. Now let's get into the offseason moves on the court, how you think they'll help. The big ones, DeAndre Ayton, Marcus Smart, Jake LaRavia. What do you think of them? How do you think they will, or I guess will not, help the team? Let's start with DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, I think the number one goal this summer, besides obviously getting the Luka contract done, was getting a starting center. And I think if you just list out from pure talent, DeAndre Ayton's name isn't too far down the list when you're naming centers. Obviously, talent is not the only thing that matters. There's a lot of other stuff that goes into that position. But if you're just looking at pure talent, DeAndre Ayton is an insane talent for the contract they got him at the $8 million due to the buyout with the Portland Trail Blazers. And he gives him just an insane pick-and-roll partner. We think of pick and pop as just threes a lot of the time, but DeAndre Ayton is, and sometimes he'll take too many mid-range shots, but that's a place where he's very much a threat. As if you go and look up just the shot cards for players, on NBA.com, it'll be red or green, and DeAndre Ayton is green in a lot of different places. He's just a super skilled big man. Now, I have concerns, as a lot of people do, on motor and things of that nature. I do think he is a player that is a product of his environment, right? And so, the hope is that this is a place where, honestly, if you can't succeed as a big man next to Luka Doncic and LeBron James, then you probably shouldn't be a big man in the league. Like, the bar is very low. They are going to feed you lobs. Luka Doncic and LeBron together are going to get you the ball in very much advantageous situations where you'll be able to finish. And I think he's going to be able to really focus on, the things that help winning, stuff that, Laker fans were very familiar with what he did for Phoenix as well, where the Suns kind of went to him and told him, don't worry, we'll pay you. Just do the stuff that helps us win. They weren't completely truthful within that. But in any case, we saw what, Ayton was able to do in a winning situation. I think that's a hope here with Ayton. And, moving to Marcus Smart, a 2022 Defensive Player of the Year winner, and I have no, ideas that he's going to be close to that. But, Andy, I think this team needed a defensive leader and a culture setter and someone who can honestly have the cachet to tell Luka Doncic and LeBron James, hey, that's your rotation. Hey, you're not running back on defense. I just don't think there are any other players. I don't think that sounds the same coming from a Jared Vanderbilt or an Adu Thiero, who they just drafted, right, who they're hoping help on defense.
I don't picture Adu Thiero yelling at Luka and LeBron to get back.
Right, yes, but I think Marcus Smart comes with at least that defensive cachet and respect where he can tell them that, and remains to be seen if he will start. I think there's an argument for him over Rui that, we'll see how that works in
That's
camp.
the argument I've made a lot, Raj. It's the argument I've made a lot.
Right. And so I love that he brings that level of toughness. And again, he's nowhere close to the athlete he was. Injuries have piled up. There's going to be a lot of roller coaster offensive moments that Laker fans should be ready for, where he takes the offense into his own hands. He's a player that's very much willing to do that. He will take the bait of the defense very many times and just decide that this is a possession where he dribbles through his leg twice and takes a step back jump shot. That's stuff that, you live with if the defense is there. And with LaRavia, I think he's the connecting piece that they've been missing for a while. The kind of comp I made, Andy, is when Austin took the jump from, this connector off-ball piece to on-ball guard, where, he needed his own possessions to eat as a ball screen, as a guy who runs ball screens. No one really filled the position behind him, in my opinion, where they were that off-ball threat. Rui, I think, has tried to play into that, but he's more of a 4 to me. And that's where I think LaRavia can come in and play at 2-3 as a guy. I call him the just super modern basketball player because if you look at his shot chart, Andy, it is all threes and layups. Like, he does not color outside the lines at all, which, has his positives and negatives in terms of versatility, but just very much a modern player who understands how to move the ball, and I think they've got him at a good price as well. So all three, I thought were really solid additions, especially when he didn't have to give up a single, first-round pick or trade anyone, for those players.
Raj Chipaloo covers the Lakers for Silver Screen and Roll. He also covers the South Bay Lakers for Clutch Points, and that's actually where I want to go next because that means you've been very familiar, eyes on Bronny James. He is coming off what I think was a pretty good development year in the G League portion of it. The minutes with the big club were largely uneventful, or I thought he didn't look ready, but the G League stuff has been pretty good. And his summer league was actually quite good, certainly better than Dalton Connect's, in all honesty. How big of a possibility do you think it could be that Bronny could get 10th man minutes on this team? And I ask just because the back end of the rotation was an issue last year, but also some of the boxes that Bronny at least theoretically checks in terms of athleticism, in terms of defense, the Lakers could use those.
Yeah, I like that you said he had a better summer league than Dalton. That was a pretty low bar to clear over, I would say. But, no, I think Bronny has continued the development that he's shown in the G League, and that has continued on, I thought, in the summer league as well. He continued to, show that he can take the step-back jump shots, can get to the rim, and I think his biggest jump to me was, his biggest skill as an NBA player right now is his athleticism. He's a 6'3" guard, but I do think he's a legit athlete at the guard position, and that's where he can maybe be useful as a 10th, 11th man. But I'm still on the train, Andy, that if the Lakers need Bronny James to be a contributor next season, something went wrong like that, so he should have another year to still just continue to work on his game. And there is some argument of, is the train on the correct track, right? I've asked Bronny multiple times, where do you see yourself in the league? And he sees himself as an on-ball guard. And, at 6'3", that's a tough lane to make it in the league. Right. And so the skill set that you have to have, the level that you have to play at. But can he be just this defensive, menace at the guard position that comes off the bench for, 5-6 minutes and just picks up full court? He has a really nice wingspan, around 7-foot wingspan. His defensive instincts are there. And again, the athleticism is really starting to pop. Helps who his dad is for sure. The genes are starting to come through with that. That's a place where I want him to lock in a little bit more. It's just, I think it's easier for him to, work on his offensive game. But yeah, I think there's a world where, again, he can come in and not those type of players, you really just don't want them to hurt you, right? As positive as they can bring on the floor, just don't hurt me on the floor. Don't have, wild turnovers or insane shot selection, run the plays through the system. And I think that's something he can definitely do. But I would still he's still a year away to me from real NBA production, which at the 55th overall pick is not crazy at all. It's something that's fine. I think he's on a fine trajectory if you just, if you judge him within the 55th overall pick. But yeah, I think he's developing at a really nice pace. Again, I question how much that translates to the next level. It's just the amount of separation you have to create at that size is really tough. But he's a legit guard, and I think you're starting to see the athleticism pop for him, and that's a place where he can really contribute. But that's probably a season away. Let's see if he's still a Laker by then. Who knows? His dad, I'm not sure it's a Laker by then, so we'll see what goes on with that whole situation. I guess he's picked up golfing with his dad, which is nice as well. So nice bonding from those two in the summer. But yeah, Bronny's a hard worker. Everything that I've seen and heard, all the work ethic stuff is all there, and that to me is a sign that I think he can play in the league. It's probably just not for some time still.
He is Raj Chipaloo. He covers the Lakers for Silver Screen and Roll. He also covers the South Bay Lakers for Clutch Points. He's also got some Sparks coverage going on during the Laker offseason and the WNBA actual season. Appreciate the time, brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Again, Raj Chipaloo. We were just talking about Bronny James. When we get back, we will talk about LeBron James, Bronny's dad, and where he fits into what is now officially the Luka Doncic era. That's coming up next. Andy Kamenetsky, Lakers Talk, 710 ESPN.
Hey, John Ireland here for Thrive Cybersecurity. We all know in sports that defense wins games and turnovers kill you. That's also true in business. The truth is 1/3 of businesses will unwittingly turn over their sensitive company data to thieves this year. Don't let that happen to you. Remember this website, thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. Thrive starts with a comprehensive cyber risk assessment. Their security analysts identify gaps and deliver proactive solutions to help keep your network healthy and protected. It's not a matter of if, it's when. Get ready. Visit thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. That's thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. Play defense, use Thrive, and protect your business.
Your next Subaru is waiting for you at Subaru of Glendale. Check this out. Lease a new 2025 Subaru Crosstrek Wilderness CBT with power moonroof, Harman Kardon speaker system, and a 10-way power driver seat for just $319 a month plus tax for 36 months. One at this payment, S3735-805, MSRP $37,764, $33.99 due at signing. Call 888-855-6434 or check out SubaruofGlendale.net. On approved Tier 1 credit through Subaru Motors Finance. No security deposit, 10,000 miles a year. Model code SRI-23.
Dealing with slow drains, dips in water pressure? Trust the experts at NextGen, the official AC heating, plumbing, and electrical company of SoCal sports fans. Their expert technicians fix even the toughest of jobs. Get your stubborn drains working again with expert drain clearing for just $88. Plus, enjoy peace of mind with their 30-day guarantee. Call NextGen now at 833-3-NEXTGen or visit nextgenairandplumbing.com to book online. CSLB number 1011173, 30-day guarantee and $88 drain clearing requires accessible clean out and camera inspection.
The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and relevant life and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid courses. Classes start August 13th. Apply now and save with no application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by SCHEV.
If something happens to you, what happens to your family? Will they struggle financially? Will they be able to afford the home you built together? With Ethos, you can get life insurance coverage in minutes. Get up to $2 million in coverage for as little as $2 a day. All online with no medical exam. Just answer a few health questions. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Rates may vary. Billed monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
710 ESPN.
The radio home of the purple and gold and the home of Lakers talk. With a new max deal and a whole preseason to work with, Luka is confident they have what it takes to compete next season.
Yeah, honestly, I think we have a great team. We have what we need to compete for the championship. Try to win every game, no matter what. And, we got some new great guys being on the team, and, we're going to go for it.
Lakers Talk is presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
More Lakers Talk with Andy Kamenetsky rolls on.
Eddie Murphy in the jail cell. What I always think about with Roxanne. The introduction to Eddie Murphy in 48 Hours.
Yep.
Somehow he managed to smuggle a Walkman into prison. He's listening to Roxanne.
Nolte was really cool in that movie.
Dude, that is, for me at least, top 5 Eddie Murphy in 48 Hours. Top 5 screen debuts. Like,
Is that his first movie?
That was his first movie.
Oh, okay. I thought Trading Places was.
No. Trading Places came out like a year after 48 Hours. That, for me, is like top 5 all-time screen debuts. Like, Eddie Murphy crushes that role. And he's going up against Nick Nolte at, like, kind of the height of Nick Nolte. And at this point, he'd done Saturday Night Live, but he'd never done a movie. He's still not super established other than a sketch comedy guy.
You want to hear an unpopular opinion?
Sure.
I like Another 48 Hours.
Better than 48 Hours?
No, I mean, I've seen Another 48 Hours more than 48 Hours.
Okay, that in and of itself
I'm not
is
saying
unpopular.
it's better. I'm not saying it's better, but I've seen Another 48 Hours more because it somehow comes on more.
No, I'm saying just having seen Another 48 Hours more than 48 Hours is in
I've
and
seen
of
it recently,
itself.
too, like within the last month.
You subscribe to the Another 48 Hours?
Showtime at random times. I don't know.
Another 48
It
Hours.
comes on. I was watching it on Showtime, like at a random time before I came into work one day.
All right, so Dave McMahon. You got a weird cable going over there.
I do.
Funchy. So Dave McMenamin, in a piece that he wrote up for ESPN, obviously Dave covers the Lakers, about Luka Doncic and the extension that he just signed. He was referencing pictures taken from the press conference with Luka and teammates that include Rui Hachimura, DeAndre Ayton, Marcus Smart, Jackson Hayes. Jared Vanderbilt was at the presser, but for whatever reason was not in some of the most prominent photos. And then Dave went on to write, quote, which made the absence of the Lakers' other superstar, LeBron James, stand out. The 40-year-old James posted videos of himself on a golf course to his Instagram account Saturday morning, engaging in his off-season hobby with training camp for the Lakers still nearly 2 months away. James's decision in late June to opt into the final year of his contract with LA for $52.6 million preceded Doncic's extension, and there has been some mystery surrounding James ever since. For what it is worth, both Dave McMenamin and Mark Stein have reported that LeBron did reach out privately to Luka, I believe via FaceTime, to congratulate Luka. So it has not been like zero dark LeBron in terms of LeBron and Luka with this extension, or Luka giving shade privately or LeBron giving shade privately to Luka. He has reached out and congratulated him, but publicly there has been no statement from LeBron during an offseason that has had a lot of speculation about LeBron. For his part, Rob Pelinka said this about LeBron's future with the Lakers during Luka's presser.
In terms of LeBron's career, I think the number one thing we have to do there is respect he and his family's decision in terms of how long he's going to play. I think that's first and foremost, and we want to respect his ability to come up with his timetable on that. I think that's really important. But if he had a chance to retire a Laker, that would be great.
Rob Pelinka sounded like he was calling from the future.
He sounded like he was talking underwater.
I don't know. Today has just been a day of technical struggles tonight on Lakers
Darth
Talk.
Pelinka, okay? Darth Pelinka.
Yeah,
Leave him alone.
it sounded like
He called him the Death Star. Leave him alone.
Yeah. from the future, from space, from underwater, as DeAndre said, like anywhere but from the building in El Segundo. But, Rob Pelinka saying, assuming you could even understand him in that clip, that they're going to give space to LeBron for whatever he and his family decide they want to do in the NBA moving forward, whether that's with the Lakers, whether that's retirement, whether that's anything. LeBron has earned the right to have that type of respect and space, and that they're going to try to honor whatever wishes LeBron wants. That being said, if LeBron could retire as a Laker, if that's what he wants to do, and the Lakers can make that work, that would be great. But this is obviously part of an offseason where ever since LeBron opted into his contract, and then that was accompanied by Rich Paul's statement that was very cryptic about LeBron understanding that the Lakers are gearing towards the future, and he enjoys the relationship, respects Rob, respects Jeannie, yada, 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 but he's going to be weighing all of his options. And then some of the social media posts, there have been questions percolating about LeBron's satisfaction with the Lakers. And look, on one hand, if you are somebody like LeBron, who has done so much public messaging on so many different occasions for so many different years, and again, doing it very publicly, then you're going to have everybody read into every single thing that you do. Like, that's the thing that you've signed up for, and you can't have it both ways, even though I think LeBron at times tries to have it both ways. Like, people are going to read into this stuff. But the flip side is, just because LeBron has given you a reason to read into it doesn't mean there's necessarily something bad to read into. And right now, at least, when it comes to the most important thing, which is LeBron and Luka's working relationship, there's no reason to believe that's a problem. Do I think that there are points of tension right now between LeBron and the Lakers? Yes. If for no other reason than Team LeBron has gone pretty out of their way to make it seem like there are points of tension between LeBron and the Lakers, because if they didn't want people to think that, they would just dispel that narrative, or at least try to dispel it. And they've made no effort really to do that. So I do think that right now LeBron is not entirely satisfied with everything going on with the Lakers. If I had to guess, and it's purely a guess, but I think it's a guess that makes sense, I think the biggest point of contention is that they did not offer LeBron the latest 1+1 with a player option that just allows him to keep mapping out his future open-ended in perpetuity, with the Lakers just waiting for his decisions, which I've said many times is not practical for the Lakers when it comes to building a team, particularly when you have a generational superstar like Luka in the fold. With all sincere, truly sincere respect to LeBron, that just is not tenable anymore. And the Lakers very sensibly did not offer another opportunity to do something like that. But once they actually get to training camp and we get into the preseason and the actual games, I expect everything between LeBron and Luka to be fine. And as long as everything between LeBron and Luka is fine, and everything they do on the court seems fine, I think everything between the Lakers and LeBron is going to be, if nothing else, fine enough. Like, it doesn't have to be a match made in heaven. There does not have to be an incredible connection between LeBron and the Lakers for this to work. If LeBron ultimately can't wrap his mind around being a part of a franchise where he is not the most important player, I guess he'll look to go somewhere else in the 2026 offseason. But I don't know if LeBron's going to actually be able to find a situation where he's the most important player and he has just as good of a chance, if not better, to win a championship than he is with the Lakers right now. Like, whether LeBron loves it or not, this really might be the best opportunity in front of him when you match ability to win, ability to potentially get paid, and proximity to family and outside businesses. This may be LeBron's best setup, whether he likes it or not. So we'll see how everything moves forward, but I think everything between Luka and LeBron is fine. Coming up next, as always, we close out the show with Crunch Time. Funchy's got the topics. DeAndre and I will weigh in. That's coming up next. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetsky, 710 ESPN.
Hack your day with awe and awesome at SeaWorld San Diego. Get real close to over 9,000 animals, including axolotls at the all-new Bayside Aquarium, now open, and orcas at the reimagined Orca Encounter. Race at unreal speeds across over 16,000 feet of coaster track. Rediscover the journey to Atlantis, opening soon. Savor the flavors during Bayside Brews and Barbecue from August 15th through September 1st. Go from real to unreal at SeaWorld. Save up to 70% on tickets during our end-of-summer sale. Hurry, offer ends soon. Restrictions apply.
Rams fans, the 2025 Rams regular season is right around the corner. Don't miss any regular season home games this year with marquee matchups against the 49ers, Lions, Texans, Buccaneers, and more for only $97 per game. In addition, get home playoff ticket access, interest-free monthly payment plans, and stadium event pre-sale access. Visit therams.com/2025. Again, that is therams.com/2025. Secure your season tickets and see you at the Rams house.
Is it time to downsize? Selling your home doesn't have to be a hassle. With Seller's Advantage, skip agents, commissions, and costly repairs. Get a fair, competitive cash offer without worrying about the details falling through. Chris Chavez, a real customer, says, quote, Seller's Advantage offered me more than I expected. The process was fast, easy, and much better than using a realtor. End quote. Call 888-390-AS-IS or visit sellersadvantage.com for your free cash offer.
DRE number 01961658.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
Ignite your afternoons at Waba Grill's $5 happy hour with our 5-piece pork veggie dumplings and a value-sized premium one beverage drink, like our tangy passion fruit lemonade. Enjoy $5 happy hour weekdays after 3 p.m. Only at Waba Grill.
JTV Jewelry Television knows you love to sparkle, so now's your time to shine like the star you are. Enter JTV's Shine Like a Star sweepstakes for your chance to win $5,000 in dazzling jewelry from top brands, including Rachel Zoe Jewelry and Judith Ripka Jewelry. Plus, just for entering, get $30 off your next qualifying JTV purchase of $99 or more when you opt in for emails. Enter now at jtv.com/likeastar. And remember, if you love jewelry, you'll love JTV.
That's the sound of James adding long-lasting Gain scent boosters to his laundry this morning. Several hours later, James sniffs the irresistible scent of Gain on his shirt. Gain. Several hours later, James has even caught the attention of his mother-in-law, and she never gives him attention.
Ooh, you smell amazing, James.
Oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too.
I never said that.
Add Gain scent boosters to your laundry. Add joy to your day.
It's crunch time on Lakers Talk.
When the clock is ticking and it's all coming down to the wire, you know what that means.
This is crunch time.
Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetsky, 710 ESPN. We close out, as always, with crunch time. Funchy offering up some talking points. DeAndre and I react. What you got there, Funchy?
I just want to go back to LeBron and, like, not being there for the Backstreet Boys thing or whatever. I mean, how many times have we had somebody at the station have a party or something and we all can't go because we're out of town or got something that's going on, you know?
So what are you asking?
I don't know. I'm just saying that, you know, I'm just trying to make the opinion. I'm taking LeBron's side, I guess, on this because, like, people were like, why is he not there? Blah, blah, blah.
I mean, what if the answer is he doesn't like the Backstreet Boys?
Exactly. That too, you know? Maybe he doesn't like the Backstreet Boys, you know?
I mean, look, if I was one of Luka's teammates, depending on where I was in the pecking order, and it seems like it was very much Rui down.
Yeah, right.
Like, as far as guys that felt like, okay, I really got to be a part of everything, like recognizing my station. And look, just so people, if they were unaware, Austin Reeves is in Asia right now. He's doing a shoe tour.
I'm sure he's not coming from China to go to Vegas for a concert.
Just before people start reading into, is Austin upset about his place with Luka? Like, does he not like? No, Austin is on the other side of the planet. Like, before people start reading into that, like he's got a doctor's note.
And I'm sure these people out there work with somebody. They invited you to go somewhere. Hey, want to go have a beer after we'll play some bowling or something? You couldn't go because your wife said you couldn't go. Something like that. You know, like, hey, something.
Look, again, do I think that there is some tension between the Lakers and LeBron? Yes, I've made that very clear over the last several weeks. as well as on Locked On Lakers. Available 5 days a week everywhere you get your podcast, Monday through Friday. Always free, never behind a paywall. And for the sickos who like to watch, there's a YouTube component. And I think if maybe it could be a weird thing where if LeBron goes to this, it could look like he's signaling that he's more fine with stuff than he actually is. He also could be like, look, if I go to this, then it becomes a story there, and it overshadows. So it's kind of damned if I do, damned if I don't.
Exactly. And the one thing I saw, too, is like, why isn't Bronny there?
Well, he can't get into the sphere.
Probably not. He's at 21, right?
Right. He might not be able to get into some of this
But
stuff.
yeah, I've seen people on social media saying, why is he not there? He's like the last guy on the team. He should be there. And I'm like, I don't know. He's hanging out with his dad.
Well, but here's the thing, too. If Bronny goes and LeBron doesn't.
That makes it more weird.
Right. That makes it even more weird. So if LeBron's not going to go, I'm giving Bronny a pass. Like, Bronny's already had to answer questions about LeBron, his dad's contract situation or satisfaction with the Lakers. Like it's a horrible position for him to be caught in. He's like, dude, I'm just trying to make an NBA career.
Exactly.
Like so.
So, big news today. We have De'Aaron Fox hitting De'Aaron Fox. I'm sorry. De'Aaron Fox. I have DeAndre in my mind here. Sorry. De'Aaron Fox reaching a 4-year, $229 million extension. A good deal for the Spurs, or is this like something? I feel like he's not going to be there in a couple years. If it's, they can't keep all three guys. They can't keep him, Castle, and Harper.
No, that does feel like one of them may eventually have to go. De'Aaron Fox may be the guy that is best positioned to help them win right now, even if the fit is awkward. But I do think the Spurs want to be in the playoff mix this year. And between Fox, Castle, who I really like, and Dylan Harper, De'Aaron Fox is the one best equipped to make that happen. Also, reminder, along with Brandon Ingram recently, never hurts to be rep by Clutch. They get their dudes paid.
Yeah, I was just reading right now that he preferred to go to Texas because they had no state tax. So, Clutch and him kind of forced his way to Texas.
Which, by the way, in and of itself, sea change. Like, when is the last time somebody forced their way to San Antonio? Wemby is for real.
Mm-hmm.
Players recognize it.
Yeah, I was also reading that if, out of the three guys that we just talked about, Castle, Fox, and Harper, Castle would probably be the guy that would probably go or Harper because they're more younger. Well, in case they want to go something like Giannis or something.
I was going to say, it depends on what San Antonio is trying to do. Like, they're obviously moving in a certain direction. They're progressing. But, how ready are they? Because depending on the readiness, guys like De'Aaron Fox and Devin Vassell could be more helpful. If they still have a year or so to go, then you might focus more on developing Castle and Harper and just trying to get them in sync with Wemby, and that's your timeline.
If you're San Antonio and Milwaukee said, I want Harper and Castle and a pick for Giannis, I mean, it probably doesn't work money-wise or anything, but, we'll have fillers there, blah, blah, blah. Is that something you would do?
I would very seriously consider.
Hell yeah. I'll do that.
For San Antonio or Milwaukee?
For San Antonio. For both, actually.
For both, yeah.
I don't know if Giannis wants out, I don't know if you're going to do really any better than Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, who everyone seems to think is going to be great, and at least a pick or two. I don't know if you're going to do any better than that. For a team like Milwaukee that needs to start from the ground up, they don't get free agents. Like, they need that sort of thing, DeAndre.
I totally agree, and it'll work for both sides. The Spurs have a chance to contend in the Western Conference, and then the Milwaukee Bucks got the two guards they can rebuild around.
So you're saying have a future in the NBA front office?
Say that again?
You think I have a future in the NBA front office now?
If you manage to come up with the Spurs would like Giannis, if it's that simple, then I guess you do have a future, Funchy. Anything else?
That's it. We're about 30 seconds out.
Okay, yeah. Among the other problems in here, the clocks are screwed up. So I don't know exactly what time we're actually on right now, and I have no idea what the countdown is.
I just figured that out right now, dude.
But either way, appreciate Dan Woike from The Athletic dropping by, Raj Chipaloo from Silver Screen and Rolling Clutch Points for dropping by. Obviously, everybody listening, watching to the show. DeAndre, Funchy for helping navigate us through this slew and sea of technical snafus. It's been an adventure, but I think it's been a fun show. We will be back next Monday, usual time, 6 to 8. Lakers Talk, Andy Kamenetsky, 7.